early aggression with the Lilia and the Ballman, but it's still not going to be easy, Dave, as we creep into Game 3. This is the Simpsons up against Ackerman in the lower bracket. The loser of this series will go home tonight, and the current score is 1-1 as we jump into this pause, Dave. Tell me what you think about those drafts.
I was going to make a point regarding the EXP lane, actually, with Masha and Paquito. Right, because one, just I guess we talked about, Paquito was a flex pick, and turned out we are going to have the Paquito in the EXP lane. And the thing is, with Masha, Masha's really a late game character. Early game, yes, you have the 3 lives with your HP bar, but I think the #1 thing that Masha does in early game, it's probably just going to be, you know, trying to clear waves, but Paquito is not going to do anything to you, right? Paquito is just going to focus on wave clear every time he has a skill up, and then just leave. And if you have that kind of stuff, Masha, you really need to waste skill into the late game, have those items, have those guardian helmet, and stack those HP so you can one-shot the backline, where Paquito doesn't really have that problem, right? Once you have the 1 or 2 items, once you get the power spike, you can immediately go into the team fight and start making a huge difference. So I think looking into the EXP lane here, once Paquito gets to level 3, level 4, you're really gonna see this, the rotation priority from the EXP lane creeping towards ACKERMAN, right? Like creeping towards their favor, and that just again might become the snowball starter for their team.
Definitely. Now, I will say, looking at both drafts, I'm with that final Masha and that Diggy, I do kind of like the Simpsons lineup here a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, we've seen Zia perform very well in the Airthil, and we know how that pick can be, the damage coming out from it, and even with the Kagura, there is some decent burst damage there as well. But I don't know. I'm feeling I like Promise on this. I like Promise on this Masha. I like Damien on this Diggy. I just feel like the Simpsons are very well rounded from early game to mid game to late game. They have a lot of their bases covered. But ACKERMAN as well has a strong composition. Excited to see how Tarzan plays this Karina. I haven't seen him played a lot in this top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. It's a prior battle in the mid lane. Right, we saw the Grok plus the Conqueror power. One swipe, one skill, the wave is gone. And Mark QD immediately go into the poke mode. that is something to see. Here we go. The first lethal.
Yeah, first litho will come down. It does go to the side of the Simpsons there, but both teams disengage directly after. I feel like with all the action we've been having tonight, these two teams have been taking it exceptionally slow in this laning phase.
Yeah, no one want to make the mistake. I think people are. This is the phase when you take it slow, right? Oh, bottom lane might not be so slow though.
Cold World is going to get away with that, but you go.
Yeah, I was talking about how everyone's going slow, but it seems like Zia is eager to get into action here. Look at HP trade. And here's the thing with the early game Airthel. Even though this is a late game character, but in lane, if you leave him alone one-on-one, Airthel with the skill combos can actually be a lane bully, right? If you land a skill 1, skill 2 onto you, that's a big, nice chunk, like 1/3 of your health in the early game. So, and you saw what happens in the bottom lane. I think this Claude might just need some help, but before we get to that, first turtle coming up in 10 seconds. It seems like ACKERMAN is already setting it up.
Yeah, they're definitely ready for this, but Fallen not too far behind here. Nate and Damien as well, but Gauss QD gets a nice bit of chunk on Damien there. Gonna put him a little bit behind as we get into this turtle fight. Fallen also here. Tarzan not wanting to start it. Look at him just kind of bobbing back and forth. He's like, nah, you go first, right? But Mark Cutie finds the Ying overturn onto Damien there. This is where Tarzan's gonna move in. Dashes in, collects first blood for his team as Damien falls. Black Shoes does pop for Nate here. Yureshi on the backside of Fallen does find the turtle there. So a nice response from the Simpsons for the death of Damien.
Yeah, they got the turtle, but look at total gold. I find that for the first turtle, even if you get it, you know, sometimes if the other side is able to trade with the kill, they're still ahead. Look at this. Right now, they're about 700 gold ahead in the first 3 minutes of the game, just with the 1 kill alone. And that's something I think we really need to pay attention to when we're looking at those games. Yeah, you can get those kills, but is it worth it for you to die for the first turtle? Because you might be giving up a lot more in return. So that's why sometimes a team, if they know they cannot secure, okay, enemy team have a Belmont. If they know they cannot secure objective before that, here comes the clash in the mid lane.
Black Juice does come up from Nate there. Gauss tries to get the wild charge, but ends up taking a lot of damage for that push. Zia also getting bullied a little bit on the bot side, but Tarzan wants to find it. Moves in under the tower, on to Cold World, but takes too many tower shots. Fallen gonna try to finish this. Tarzan, I don't think he's gonna be able to get away from this. Fallen looking for him. Tarzan takes another tower shot, and Fallen picks up the kill. A 1-for-1 trade on the map. Yureshi and Promise also battling out. Promise winning out a little bit in those trade-offs, Dave.
Yeah, the early game kills is just worth so much money. Back to what we're talking about. Look at the goal right now. Because of the kills that the Team Simpsons is able to grab on the bottom side due to the aggression, they're back on the total goal board, right? So this is just something that we're talking about regarding early game kills. A lot of teams knowing that we cannot secure, we cannot battle because the enemy team does have the Belmont, they just go for the kills. Just go for the, speaking of kills, here we go again on the top side.
Tarzan looking for Fallen, not quite able to find it. And you were talking about that turtle in the beginning in the first phase, and it's true. I remember about a month or two ago, a lot of teams were ignoring the first turtle completely, and then like trying to get a gank in the gold lane or trying to get a bunch of gold plating in the gold lane. And it just shows that first turtle, yeah, it's not the most important objectives. We see a lot of teams, even now, if they don't feel comfortable going for it, they will try to gain ground somewhere else on the map. But now we are on to the second turtle. Nice reverse time on Tarzan, connecting him into Fallen. Gets a little bit of spin damage there as Zia continues to poke from the backside, but the turtle will fall and go to Fallen as Nate pops the black shoes to help get away. Now we're starting to see it be a bit more impactful, but ACKERMAN still holding the gold lead.
Yeah, the turtle's not really meant for gold right now. The biggest thing you need to look at turtle is the EXP stack. Now, speaking of EXP stack, I think the bottom side, Team Simpson looking to stack more EXPs here with a 3-2 dive. But, mid lane, though, have some action going on. I think Lilia is just taking a beating down the mid side.
Ooh, but no, responds. Black Shoes is able to take out Gals. Gals getting a little too aggressive. Tarzan does find Lily, though, eventually rotating up to the mid, but Fallen is on his trail. Man, Tarzan has been just finding those spots left and right, but a real problem that could end up happening is this EXP lane. As Yureshi gets pushed more and more in, that tower could fall soon.
Yeah, it seems like Yureshi has just having a problem with Promise. That's why he's the MVP of the match. And here we go one more time on top lane.
Yureshi in a very bad spot as Promise and Fallen move in. Does have the lead. This got the lethal counter, so not quite in time. You need to be careful. Promise taking a lot of damage. Tarzan looking for it, does find it. Gets that kill, and now in the boss side, ACKERMAN also doing some damage. Cold World responds back with the Blazing Duet. Not quite able to find Gauss Cutie. BMI's back out of that. So a nice play from ACKERMAN, keeping this lead in their hands.
But Team ACKERMAN still want to dive. Look at Lilia. Look at Nate going up. And he have to pop the black shoes. Meanwhile, on the other side, ACKERMAN's getting a tower by Yureshi here. So the goal lead, this game, no one want to make the mistake. But somehow ACKERMAN is still able to find those advantages, leveraging the top lane with the gank, and then to really open up the map. Because even with the first tower, even though there's not too much goal differences on the map right now, we're looking at probably like 1,000, 1,300 goal differences. But when you have the first tower, it really just puts so much pressure on the enemy side. And here we go. Let's see if we're able to see a 5 versus 4 on the third final turtle here on the bottom side.
Fallen is beginning this turtle. He's been doing pretty well, but Yureshi locks on to Nate. Tarzan takes the turtle, and now ACKERMAN smells blood. They're moving in for more. Tarzan gets stopped by his own teammate's wall. Not quite able to connect onto Nate there, but still getting, at this point, when you do have the lead, this is when the turtles can become important, right? It's just securing it even more, and now the rest of ACKERMAN going to move in on to this tier 3 in the mid. Fallen trying to do something, but it's just too much to deal with right now, and Zia may be taking this bottom tower soon as well, as Gauss Cutie and Mark Cutie come to back him up. Cold World and Damien just trying to defend, but Tarzan off can, picking up Fallen. Tarzan at 5-1-0 right now, Dave.
Yeah, there are a few options when you can go against a Belmont, right? One is, you devour him. The one is just straight up shred his health, and that's exactly what Tarzan offers with the Karina there. So here we go, wall charge on the bottom lane.
Zia is going to be able to pick that kill onto Damien. Nate tries to come in, and then it's a double push on both sides. A banana split as Yureshi pushes into this top lane as well. Promise able to defend it, but now with Tarzan rotating up to this EXP lane more, Reshi's actually able to get the better of Promise. Luckily, Promise has only taken 1 death, so there is still some opportunity there. ACKERMAN are leading, though, with a 4,000 gold lead, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, this is just getting more and more. We're speaking like a 1,300 gold in the first like 6 minutes, right? 6.5 minutes. And with 1 advantage, open up the mid lane tower and able to, you know, start rotating that advantage towards the other side. And sure enough, this has become an irreversible snowball, you know, soon enough. Now, obviously, everything can be turned around with the first Lord, because every time we get the Lord, we usually know that Lord give your team about a 2,000 to 3,000, especially the first Lord, the normal Lord, I will say. You know, give you about a 2,000 to 3,000, or maybe even 4,000, depending on how your team is able to stretch it at advantage here. So this is the chance for Team Simpsons to really even it up. Are they going to start it, or is ACKERMAN going to respond with a huge team fight here?
I think the Simpsons need to play this Lord very carefully. Maybe not even start it. Wait, Fallen's always trigger happy, trying to start it himself when I don't think he really needs to. He has the lethal counter. He can just kind of wait back like Tarzan's been doing to him.
Yeah, mid lane.
Like getting that a little bit. Over in the mid side, a little bit of action as Promise comes in onto Marcuti. Zia does take a tower though. The Lord continues. Promise finding Marcuti. Back to the Lord though. Tarzan, he's having a bit of a bout with Fallen. 1v1, Yureshi trying to zone the way, but now Damien and Promise are here as well, and now Tarzan may get pushed back. Yureshi finds Nate. Cold World goes down as well. Fallen may be able to get it, but no, Tarzan takes it in spite of the lethal counter, and now the Simpsons are on the run. Damien very low. Damien goes down, and it's a 3-for-2 trade plus a Lord as Promise trying to find Zia here. Luckily he can, but now he's caught in between Yureshi and Tarzan, and he's gonna pay for that. Nothing but Fallen stands. ACKERMAN taking over on the map.
Ooh, mega kill goes to Tarzan right now when you have the opportunity. I mean, just now, it seemed like they were going to do it. Obviously, the camera wasn't able to pan to it, but in the mid lane, I think Yureshi was able to 1v2 and really gain a lot of ground over there. Just 1 versus 2 and pressuring everybody away. I think that's the reason why Simpson was not able to help Fallen to get to the lower side. And sure enough, here we go, one more time. He's just finding himself alone on the top side, like, you know, but Tarzan, he's unkillable. Look at this guy's item, right? It's full tank, just sitting in there, and they're like, yeah, you can spin on me, but who cares? Here we go. Lord of Push on the top tier 2.
He's pushing onto this tower, but they're making quick work of it. Doesn't even get the connection, so Simpsons able to defend once again here, but ACKERMAN is not done yet. They want more. They want to take every tower they can out of this push, and they continue to do that from last game to this game. They make even the first lore very, very detrimental, and on top of this, Simpsons have been unable to take a single tower so far, Dave.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because without a tower, that's the thing we're worried about on the EXP lane, right? And it seems like ACKERMAN just find their window of opportunity and just run with it. You know, pedal to the metal and just go to town. We had the first tower going to the EXP lane being taken down to the favor of ACKERMAN, and then that opened up the mid lane, opened up the bottom lane, opened up the lore fight, and really opened up Paquita's rotate to help the team, and that's exactly what's happening. You saw in the last lord fight as well. We have Masha, played by Promise, staying on the top side, find himself always late for any rotations. Meanwhile, on the other side, into the, you know, in contrary, you have Yureshi always one step ahead of his opposition, right? His counterpart, just coming to the team fight, 1 versus 2, you know, being nuances to the enemy team. And here we go. That's one more time. The Promise was not able to find any split push at all because Paquita just shoved the lane over and over once and once again. This is at this point, I do not see what Team Simpsons can do. Maybe wait until next lore fight. That might be the chance that they really needed.
Yeah, I mean, they still have that steal potential, but Fallen has not been able to pull it off. Tarzan's just been out retroing him back and forth, even with the lethal counter. So Simpson's going to need to find something to deal with Tarzan. He's the major problem right now. He's the issue. Promise, able to kind of handle Yureshi here a bit in the 1v1, like at least stalemate him. But the thing is Tarzan. And on top of that, you have Zia and Marcuti, who are also huge threats of damage, just burst potential from both of them. So Simpsons have a lot of questions that right now they just can't seem to find answers to.
Yeah, here we go. Lord one more time being started by Tarzan this time, pulling Lord to the side, but Gelscute is taking a beating though. Meanwhile, top lane.
Yeah,
the 1-on-1.
You're actually able to pick that up, but Tarzan is alone this time, but we got to keep our eyes on Zia in this tri-bush. He's waiting for a moment to come in, probably when the Lord gets down to about 50%. Zia repositioning. Tarzan getting pulled back in, taking a bit of damage, but he's just too tanky. Gauss QD also here does have that wild charge ready to go, just waiting for the right moment to use it. Zia comes in, on Blazing Duet comes out. Tarzan finds Damien. Mark QD finds Promise, and Nate will be next. Fallen all alone as Cold World is the final one to drop. And this is very reminiscent of the past Lord. 4 members of the Simpsons down, and Ackerman stands strong with all 5.
Ackerman, you know, you've seen those discipline, you've seen those dive, the patience come out from Zia over and over again. We find the flank from a marksman, but before that here, this might just be the game track.
Yeah, they're moving in. A couple minions. Luckily, the spawn does come out, but they're going to take their time, move on to this bottom inhibitor, and Lord has not even connected yet. Ackerman trying to make work of this game as we creep into the 14th minute mark. Simpsons on the defense, but Lord is coming in just a few seconds.
Yeah, Lord pouring in. You already have 2 towers down. Only 1 tower remaining. That's a Numinous Lord. That means the tower's gone. This is the final push, and Claude is not even fully built to defend this. This might just be it.
Well, they are doing a good job, though, spreading things out a little bit. Lord already down to half health as Nate try to make work. Yureshi comes around the side. They connect onto Cold World. Nice getting overturned, but Cold World's still up. But they are on the base now, and they're doing damage down to 50%. Lord makes the connection, and the game goes to Ackerman. The base has fallen, and Ackerman are now leading 2-1.
Yeah, once again, we have emphasized on this caster that said, you know, we talk about the mid lane, the mid